In terms of the experience that we've had with students in the past, we think there's a lot of benefits of this online T2t curriculum. One is that the online recorded lectures are at your availability whenever you need them. If you want to watch the lectures in the morning, great. If you want to watch them in the afternoon or evening, no problem. They're available 24/7. And so you can move through them at your own convenience, at your own schedule. We also, in addition to the workshops, have a series of webinars in which we either provide an opportunity for you to ask questions about course content or other issues to faculty such as myself, or we provide some focused review of different content that we've covered either in the online recorded lectures or in the workshops as sort of reminders and to re-emphasize important concepts that you may want to be familiar with. I cannot emphasize how important this third category is about networking. And it's networking at the workshops because it's networking both with the faculty from Harvard Medical School as well as with each other. And so getting to know the different medical education leaders, such as all of you in Egypt, is a core part of this experience. So you can start to develop collaborations and think about people who you might do projects with and understand who you might reach out to if you have a question about this, that, or the other thing. And so that networking component is, I think, a core component of this T2T experience that we really emphasize both with regard to the Harvard faculty as well as with regard to each other. So I, again, emphasize that. You have access as part of the T2T curriculum to the Countway Library, which is one of the preeminent libraries in the United States in terms of access to and availability of different manuscripts from the peer-reviewed literature, textbooks, etc. And so this is, I think, an understated but very important component of this T2T experience, where you have access to both the library, the librarians, in terms of all of the world information that's there. The time commitment is worth emphasizing. It's not 7 to 10 hours every week, but some weeks it's going to be 20 hours where you're really working to get your capstone project finished before you submit it for that first, second round of review or before you submit it for the final assessment. And then other weeks it may be a little lower, 3 to 5 hours of reviewing online content, completing the quizzes, etc. And so not so much. But on average, we anticipate and have seen that it's about 7 to 10 hours on average per week. And so if that commitment just does not work with you, with your schedule, then this course probably will not work. Again, it's up and down, so there's some variability, and if you're very thoughtful and meticulous about when you do the different online recorded lectures and other requirements, you may be able to fit things in, but we want you to at least be aware that we're saying out loud that it's probably 7 to 10 hours of work per week on average over the course of the 6 months for this T2T curriculum. Finally, once you finish the course, you'll get a certificate of completion from Harvard Medical School, and then you are eligible for being an associate alumni of Harvard University. Worth emphasizing that associate alumni status does not correlate with a HMS or Harvard University email account, but that doesn't mean that it does not have great value for your CV or for your resume. In terms of the online quizzes and modules, there's a lot. We have a lot of content that we want to go through over our 6 months together, and you can see all of the different types of things that we're trying to cover with our online content. Worth emphasizing that all of this online content is generated by Harvard faculty. These are Harvard Medical School professors, et cetera, who are putting together these materials. They're focused on and aligned with the T2T curriculum for you, for our Egyptian colleagues. And they feature things such as the principles of adult learning. And we will review in e-workshop 1 repeatedly adult learning theory and how that's relevant for contemporary learners in the classroom or clinical setting. And then we'll talk about, both in the online workshops as well as in eWorkshop 1, the application of adult learning theory to actual teaching in various educational settings. We'll talk about teaching methods with an emphasis on active teaching. The flipped classroom will be prioritized during our time together. And then we'll elevate teaching on the wards, clinics, operating rooms, other clinical settings where you're going to interact with learners. And this is just part of the online quizzes and modules that we're going to go through to give you a taste of what is available for and expected of you in terms of these various teaching modalities. I mentioned previously that there's an individual training assignment. And so this is a cool opportunity in which we ask you to record yourself doing some teaching. And you can just use your phone. It does not have to be high tech. You can record yourself doing teaching in any variety of settings, in the classroom, clinical, operating room, other settings. Does not have to be high tech. In terms of what we want you to teach on, it's up to you. What's your area of expertise? Are you a pharmacist? Are you an ophthalmologist? Are you an obstetrician? Are you an internist, a family practitioner? You teach about what you want to teach about, but try to use some sort of techniques that we've provided you or exposed you to during eWorkshop 1. And so this individual assignment will be you trying out different teaching techniques that you've learned about during the T2t experience. From there, it'll be your video will be submitted, and it will be viewed by your peers, by other course participants, who will look through and provide comments, constructive comments, saying this part went really well, this part maybe we could do a little bit better next time, and this part I might not do next time. Of course, faculty will review and or provide feedback on your video submission. But primarily, this is a peer review opportunity for you all to see each other teach, which we think is a really great component of this course and allows people to grow from each other in a very collaborative manner. And then finally, you will also view some of your peers' videos. We're asking you, as part of this individual assignment, to view and provide feedback for 5 of your co-participants. And we think this has bi-directional benefit. So there's benefit for you in terms of receiving feedback from your colleagues about how your video, how your teaching was successful or could benefit from changes. And we think there's great benefit for you in terms of commenting on and providing feedback for some of your colleagues' teaching. And so this assignment, it's just part of the overall T2t experience, but we highlight it as something that we think really provides value to all of the different participants. It's an opportunity to really do what we talk about a lot in the course in terms of teaching, and then providing feedback about and getting feedback about that teaching from your peers. All right, there's a final exam for the course. We are asking you to write a final course essay, and this essay in English is going to be about one of the following: how you plan to or have started to use some teaching skill or technique that we talk about in the first e-workshop with your own teaching, with your own learners. We'll then ask you to talk about how you are incorporating either theory, again, theory is a very important part of what we're talking about, and or research in your own teaching with this new technique that you're incorporating into your learning. And then finally, challenges. There's always going to be barriers. There's always going to be challenges to trying to change how we do what we do, how to improve how we do what we do, and how to incorporate new techniques or new strategies into our teaching. And so we're going to ask you, as part of this essay, to go through those different challenges that you've experienced or anticipate about incorporating this new teaching technique into your medical education practices. So I won't belabor it too much, but this essay is an important part of the overall T2t experience. It's an important part of the overall assessment. And so we just want you to be aware of it as you're thinking about whether or not you want to participate in this course. All right, the big one is the capstone project. So again, as I referenced before, the capstone project is this idea, it's this summative idea of some concept or project that you want to incorporate into your teaching at your institution, medical school, clinic, wherever you work. And so the capstone project asks you to submit a description for developing and or implementing a new educational project. So what is an educational project? Well, it can be a curriculum, so a whole new curriculum over a month, 6 months, a year. It could be a new course. Maybe you have a short course that you're going to include into your residency, fellowship, medical school training. It can be a new teaching intervention. So maybe you are suggesting a new simulation-based medical education intervention or some other novel approach to teaching something, or some innovation in a curriculum that currently exists. So maybe you've got a curriculum, but you want to change it using theory and research in a thoughtful and innovative manner. And so you have a fair amount of breadth in terms of what you can do for the capstone project, but we want it to be innovative. We want it to be feasible, so it's actually something that you can accomplish with your learners in Egypt. And we want it to be presented in a manner that tells us that you understand the course concepts and that this is your own work and that you're not just taking from other people's prior work or collaborator or peer work. Because we want this to be feasible, part of the capstone project is that you have to submit a letter of endorsement from your director, manager, boss, who's going to tell us that they are aware of your project and that they approve of it. They don't have to commit financial resources or other things, but they have to at least say, I know about this project, I'm aware of it, and I'm willing to submit this letter to support this doctor, pharmacist, etc., with regard to this educational project. I've already referenced this, but the 3 things that your capstone project is going to be evaluated on is innovation. Is this something unique, interesting, value added for your learners? Feasibility. Is this something you can actually do? Or is it just so grandiose that it's not possible? Or is it so easy that it's maybe not necessary? And then presentation. Do you have a logical presentation and justification for why this project is needed and how it adds value to the existing state of affairs with regard to medical education at your school, hospital, or clinic? So we'll go through the details in a little more depth, if and when you join the course, but these are the 3 major areas on which the capstone project is going to be graded. So because it's such a big deal, we have 2 slides on this. The capstone project will help you. We as course faculty are here for you and will provide some feedback on your preliminary ideas. But we do expect you as medical education leaders to develop your first draft independently and provide it to us for review. The first draft, it will be reviewed on 2 occasions by some faculty at Harvard Medical School with expertise in medical education, and they'll provide you commentary, feedback, some edits over those first 2 rounds of review. After those first 2 rounds of review, you'll submit the proposal for a final evaluation, and it will be reviewed by a committee at Harvard Medical School to provide a final grade or assessment for your capstone project. I cannot overemphasize that even if you decide to work with colleagues on the capstone project, the final submission has to be your own work, your own words. And it cannot be something that you shared with or copy and pasted from or collaborated with another colleague. We really want to see your work, your thoughtfulness, and your ideas about this project even if it's a collaborative project. So again, you can work together on the capstone projects, but you have to identify your own area of focus, and you have to submit a final version that reflects you, that reflects your own writing, your own words, and your own thoughtfulness about this capstone educational intervention, about this capstone project. So we will reemphasize that going forward, but to say that very explicitly, your capstone project should be something that you write, not something that you and your colleagues write together. All right, the finals about assessment details for the T2t program. The passing grade for the online quizzes and modules, it's not too bad. 70% is what we're looking for. For the individual assignment, we have a very low bar. We want you to just essentially do it and put in some effort. But passing is 3 out of 9 on the overall assessment. In terms of the final course essay, so that matters, so 70%, and then for the capstone project, that's also a 70% threshold to pass that assessment. In terms of how these different assessments count for your overall grade for the T2t curriculum, the online quizzes and modules, they count, but they're on the lower side of things. The individual assignment is actually bundled into the participation grade, so it's actually quite low. You have to do it, but it basically breaks down to a pass-fail, please do it or not type of assignment. The final course essay, we value a fair amount. This is you putting together your cumulative thoughts about the different content in the course, and so 30% is where we've assessed that. And then the capstone project, it counts for a lot. This is the cumulative, summative response to all of the things that we talk about in workshop 1, in the online recorded lectures, in our webinars, and how you channel that into actual change at your medical school, hospital, clinic, or other medical education setting. So as you can see, the capstone counts for a fair amount of the overall assessment. And so we take that quite seriously with regard to the two rounds of review, and then the third final submission where you have a review from and grade by a committee from Harvard Medical School. All right, in terms of the final cumulative grade, if you get 70% or more of all of the different components that we just described, the individual assignment, the online recorded lectures, the final course essay, and the capstone, then you will pass the course to graduate with distinction, with honors essentially. We expect and anticipate a grade of 90% or higher for your final cumulative grade. We definitely want you to succeed, and so you will have frequent points of contact with us as we move forward, both with webinars, office hours, the workshops, availability via Canvas and email. So please use us in terms of faculty to try to get the most out of and be as successful as possible with regard to the T2t program. Your faculty are here for you to support you and ensure this journey is as valuable as possible. In terms of the final things to say, there is, as I mentioned previously, a certificate of completion that will be presented at graduation. This certificate requires that you meet all of the different academic requirements that are laid out in the course, and you have to meet all of the attendance requirements as well. And that means being virtually present and participatory in the online and in-person workshops that we put together, as well as interacting with faculty and our administrative staff in terms of answering questions, posting your name in the correct manner, etc. We're going to be with the online online virtual workshops a little more focused on and specific about people just logging on and not having their camera visible and or interacting with people, because that's not fair to those people who are there with their camera on and being actually participatory. So we can talk about that more as we get into the actual beginning of the first e-workshop, but be aware, you can't just log on and then check out. We definitely encourage and will be paying attention to people who are actually there and participating. I've already said that in terms of the capstone and the overall course evaluation. There's different levels of passing in terms of distinction and just passing the course. Finally, going back to the question about who should apply, people who, like you, who are medical educators and clinicians, who are interested in teaching learners and students, excuse me, people who are MD, PhD, MBBS, DMD, DDS, PharmDs, people with equivalent degrees who are interested in medical education, definitely apply. If you don't fit into one of those categories, that's okay. Let us know, and we can consider you on a case-by-case basis to ensure that we're offering something that is of value to you and that you would benefit from this online and hopefully in-person blended curriculum. In terms of the application process, so it's primarily through the Ministry of Health. As Jackie said in her comment previously, we definitely are interested in seeing CVs, letters of recommendation, as well as in case-by-case basis, pre-acceptance interviews, depending on, if, again, you fit into one of those categories or not. There is definitely paperwork that needs to be done through the Ministry of Health, as well as a few but important requirements that we have through our end on Harvard Medical School that we can discuss if you're interested in and want to move forward with participating in this program. This is basically a summary slide, just saying that, again, this is a certificate program for focusing on medical education skills and practice. This involves things such as adult learning theory, curricular design, active teaching strategies, which we definitely prioritize, and then assessment, evaluation, and feedback as components of this course. I think a great benefit of this curriculum is getting to interact with the faculty at Harvard Medical School, as well as with each other. Developing that local regional network of medical educators in Egypt is a core component of this opportunity for all of you, and we encourage you to take advantage of that. And then again, the medical school resources in terms of the library, staff, our operational experts, et cetera, all of them are going to be available for you during this 6 month long curriculum for the T2t course. So we'll stop there. Thank you so much for your time, your attention. I'm going to turn back to the chat very briefly and just see if there's questions, issues. And Jackie, you said there's already 4 students who have questions.
Yeah, Dr. Richards, thank you so much for this information session. We have our 4 students who are ready to speak and share some insight with their colleagues. And I'm wondering if it's all right if I prompt them now to speak, or would like to check on the questions first?
Yeah, it looks like we are pretty good with the questions from the chat.
Okay.
So yes, please, let's invite our 4 students from the prior cohort to share their expertise and insight with their colleagues.
Okay, great. And so I know I've connected with each. And so if we wanted to start with Adil Salam Shalabi first, feel free to unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Tammy. Is my voice clear?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jeremy, Dr. Richard. It's a great honor to be with you today. I'd like to thank all the Harvard Medical School staff for this collaboration, the coordination about the T2t program, providing to us this materials and this education. Allow me to speak in Arabic with my colleagues in Egypt. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كل الزملاء اللي موجودين النهارده معانا برحب بحضراتكم. انا دكتور عبد السلام شلبي، الامين المساعد للزمالة المصرية، وفي نفس الوقت انا حضرت الكورس بتاع هارفارد تريننج تو تيتشنج. الاول انا حابب اوضح ان دي منحه مقدمه من الحكومه المصريه لتدريب المدربين. الهدف منها رفع الكفاءه. المنحه مقدمه من الحكومه المصريه لتدريب المدربين في جامعه هارفارد. بتتحمل مصاريفها كامله وزاره الصحه. الهدف منها هي رفع كفاءه جميع المدربين بصوره افضل للطلبه اللي تحت ايديهم او المتدربين الزماله اللي تحت ايديهم. البرنامج بصفه عامه احنا كنا في الاول لما دخلناه ما كناش متصورين ان فيه كل المعلومات اللي احنا هنقدر نستفيد منها في الكورس ده. من اول ما يعني كل البروجرام اللي اتكلم عليه دكتور ريتشارد النهارده عن التريننج تو تيتشنج، من اول ما بنتكلم الادلت ليرنينج ثيوريز لغايه ما بنتكلم على الكوريكولم ديزاين، الفايده اللي احنا حصلنا عليها من الكورس ده كانت اكتر بكتير من الاكسبكتيشنز بتاعتنا. حابب اوضح ان كل اللي قدموا في الكورس كان في باتش A او في باتش B، في ناس تم اختيارها بسبب الاعداد، بس في ناس مش معنى ان هم ما دخلوش الفتره اللي فاتت دي ان هم اترفضوا، لا بالعكس احنا بنتكلم ان احنا ممكن يكون الفرصه ما سنحت لهمش، فمن حقهم ان هم يقدموا تاني بحيث ان احنا نقدر نوصل ان احنا ندرب كل مدربين الزماله المصريه المؤهلين للتدريب الحاصلين على الدكتوراه والحاصلين على الزماله المصريه علشان يدربوا كل المدربين، يدربوا كل الطلبه اللي بيدرسوا في الزماله المصريه اكوردنج المعيار واحد، ان طريقه التدريس في الزماله المصريه تبقى يونيفايد. علشان كده المنحه يعني الحكومه المصريه مضت عقد مع هارفارد لفتره تصل الى 4 سنوات عشان ندرب كل سنه 3 باتشز، فمعنى كده ان الطريق مفتوح للجميع. قد يكون الموضوع صعب شويه في الاول، بنواجه صعوبات ان احنا فجاه الكوريكولم بتاعنا بدل ما كنا بندرسه بطريقه معينه بندرسه على الطريقه بتاعت هارفارد، بس انا شايف ان ده هيؤدي الى بروجريشن كبير جدا على مستوى الطلبه، على مستوانا احنا شخصيا، ان احنا بنتكلم ان احنا بقى سيستمايزد، ازاي نقدر نعمل تريننج لكل الطلبه اللي تحت ايدينا بطريقه سيستمايزد يونيفايد على كل مستويات الزماله المصريه في كل التخصصات. لذلك هتلاقي دايما البرايورتي بتاعتنا في ان احنا نستجيب او نقدم المنحه لحد غير الثاني في التخصصات اللي احنا عندنا حاجه ملحه جدا في زياده الساعه التدريبيه بتاعتها. طيب الكلام ده لو كان لمدربين مصريين دلوقتي بالفعل طبعا كل المدربين اللي شغالين دلوقتي مدربين مصريه ده شيء اساسي، بس بجانب كده احنا كمان كل حد عنده رغبه ان هو يكون مدرب في الزماله المصريه كواليفايد ان هو يقدر يقوم بالتدريب في التخصص الطبي بتاعه، ده شيء مهم جدا. لذلك احنا عايزين نمسك الاثنين مع بعض، فكل واحد عنده رغبه ان هو يقدم كمدرب يتفضل ويكون كواليفايد بيتم الحاقه على طول بالتدريب في الزماله المصريه، وفي نفس الوقت يكون بيتم الحاقه في برنامج تدريب المدربين من جامعه هارفارد. انا مش عايز اطول على حضراتكم عشان في لينا زملاء تانيين برضه عايزين يقدموا رؤيتهم للبروجكت بالنسبه لزمايلنا دكتور حازم ودكتوره لبنى و اي ثينك دكتور احمد عبد الرحمن كمان. حابب جدا ان هم يقولوا رؤيتهم عن المشروع مش من وجهه نظر بس الزماله المصريه، من وجهه نظرهم هم كزملاء لينا تم التحاقهم بالبرنامج والفوائد اللي هم حصلوا عليها في حاجه زي كده. شكرا and thank you Jacqueline.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And now I would like to welcome Hassam Al-Nassar, and I hope that I pronounced your name correctly. I do apologize. Please correct me if I have not. And Hassam, you're on mute. You'll need to unmute yourself if you can. There you go.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect.
Yes. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Jeremy. Thank you, Jacqueline. I want to speak also in Arabic to my colleagues. السلام عليكم. في البداية أحب أرحب بحضراتكم وأعرفكم بنفسي. أنا دكتور حازم النشار، استشاري الشبكية في معهد الرمد التذكاري، وواحد من خريجي الدفعة الأولى في برنامج T2t. حابب أتكلم مع حضراتكم في بعض النقط عن تجربتنا في الدفعة الأولى. بعد ما تعرفنا من دكتور جيرمي على طبيعه الكورس، خلينا نرجع شويه ونعرف هو الهدف من الكورس كان ايه، وان احنا عارفين ان الزماله المصريه دلوقتي هتكون هي البرنامج المعتمد لتدريب خريجين الطب خارج الجامعات. بالتالي الهدف هو رفع مستوى التدريب بالزماله، وعشان يكون في جيل جديد قادر يستعمل طرق غير تقليديه في التدريب عشان نرفع مستوى التعليم، وبالتالي نرفع مستوى الاطباء. ده هينقلنا للنقطة الثانية اللي حابب أكلمكم فيها، وهي إيه الفايدة من الاشتراك في البرنامج نفسه. طبعا في فايدة كلنا عارفينها، وإن هي إنك هتكون مدرب في الزمالة المصرية اللي هي متوقع إنها تكون أكبر كيان للتدريب في مصر. كمان ده هيديك فرصة إنك تكون من أوائل الناس في المجال ده، وده هيفتح لك فرص أكيد في المستقبل هتكون أحسن. كمان دلوقتي بقى من شروط الترقيه زي ما موجود عندنا مثلا في هيئه المستشفيات والمعاهد التعليميه انك تكون درست T2t. ده من الناحيه الاداريه. من الناحيه العلميه الحقيقه كل اللي اشترك في البرنامج اتعرف على طرق جديده في التدريب، وكمان الطرق القديمه بدات ان هي يعني ان احنا نحسنها، وبدانا فعلا نستخدم الطرق دي، وكانت النتائج الحقيقه مبشره جدا، واحنا يعني كنا مبسوطين بيها جدا. اخر نقطه حابب اكلمكم فيها، هل في صعوبات متوقعه في البرنامج؟ اكيد طبعا، ومن اهمها هي حاجز اللغه. يعني دي كانت نقطه كتير جدا متخوفين منها، لكن تحديدا بعد ما بقت المحاضرات اونلاين ومتسجله، ده هيحسن كتير جدا من المشكله دي، لانك انت تقدر تسمع المحاضره اكتر من مره لحد ما يعني تقدر تفهم اي حاجه مش قادر توصل لها. كمان محاضرات الموديولز اللي على مدار الكورس فيها ميزه ان هو الكلام بتاعها بينزل على الشاشه نفسها، فده بيسهل كتير جدا. فاظن ان موضوع اللغه ده من الحاجات اللي مشكلتها هتكون بسيطه. من ضمن الصعوبات كمان ان احنا هندرس حاجه بعيده عن مجالنا. احنا طول الوقت بندرس طب، انما دلوقتي هندرس هاو تو تيتش، وده بالذات في الاول كان صعب اول ما بدانا الكورس الحقيقه ده. لكن النقطه دي هنحاول ان احنا نتغلب عليها في الجروبس الجديده، عن طريق ان الجانب المصري نفسه بدا ان هو يرتب ان يكون في مجموعه من الدفعه الاولى تكون مع الدفعات الجديده من البدايه. وده دكتوره لبنى هتشرح لكم بالتفصيل الفكره دي دلوقتي. احب ارحب بيكم تاني في كورس T2t، وبالتوفيق للجميع باذن الله. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And now I'd like to welcome Lubna Al-Gamal. Are you still here, Lubna? Just looking to see. Lubna, I just asked to unmute, so you might be able to speak now.
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jeremy, for your talk and your effort. Thank you, Jacqueline, for your presentation. Allow me to speak in English for my colleague. السلام عليكم. أهلا بحضراتكم معانا في T2t batch 3. الأول أحب أعرفكم بنفسي. أنا دكتور لبنى الجمل، أنا استشاري عناية مركزة مستشفى جامعة عبد الناصر، الهيئة العامة للتأمين الصحي، وإحدى خريجي الدفعة الأولى من منحة هارفارد للتعليم الطبي. الحقيقة أن أنا استفدت منها بشكل جذري وغيرت كتير في طريقة تفكيري وأدائي. أنا بشكر حضراتكم على تواجدكم معانا، وبحب أرحب بحضراتكم، وإن شاء الله تبقى رحلة تدريبية مثمرة. زي ما الدكتور جيرمي اتفضل وقال إن المنحة عبارة عن برنامج تدريبي أونلاين، وهو بيحتوي على ورشتين عمل. الأولى هتبقى في بداية البرنامج إن شاء الله، والتانية هتبقى في نهايته. بين الورشتين هتكون في مجموعة من المحاضرات بتنزل على منصة التعليم الإلكتروني، ودي منصة خاصة بهارفارد كانفاس، وهتنزل تباعا وعلى فترات محددة. كل محاضرة بيكون في آخرها مجموعة من الأسئلة للتقييم. طيب المحاضرات دي بتتكلم عن ايه؟ هي الحقيقه بتتكلم عن اساليب التدريس، عن كيفيه وضع منهج علمي، عن طرق التقييم، نظريات التعليم الطبي، التعليم الالكتروني، طرق التدريب في اماكن العمل، كيفيه انشاء محاضرات تفاعليه وهكذا. الحقيقه ان فتره الدراسه هي تقريبا 6 شهور، وبيطلب مننا اثناءها بجانب المحاضرات تقديم اسي او مقال، وده بيبقى عن موضوع تم دراسته اثناء الكورس بالفعل. بيطلب مننا كمان فيديو تعليمي، وبيطلب مننا، ودي اهم حاجه، فيديو مشروع تدريبي بنقدمه، وكل ده هيتم التنويه عنه، عن كيفيته وخطوات تصميمه في حينه. مجموع درجات الانشطه هي اللي بتحدد نجاح المتدرب في النهايه. طيب بالنسبه للمتوقع، المجهود اللي مبذول اولموست بيبقى في حدود من 6 ل 8 ساعات اسبوعيا على اقصى تقدير. والمحاضرات زي ما الدكتور حازم تفضل وقال يمكن سماعها في اي مكان وحتى عن طريق الموبايل. الموضوع مش هيأثر مطلقا على عمل حضراتكم الأساسي، بالعكس حضرتك هتستفيد من المادة المقدمة جدا وهتبدأ بتطبيقها في تخصصك بالفعل، خصوصا لو حضرتك عندك نواب صغيرين أو عندك متدربين. احنا الحقيقة أهم نقطة النهاردة عايزين نوصلها إن احنا حابين نطمن حضراتكم إن رغم إن الموضوع جديد لكن هو ممتع وبيفتح آفاق جديدة ومفيدة، وإن احنا زي ما دكتور حازم قال هنكون مع حضراتكم متواجدين دايما عن طريق منتورشيب بروجرام، برنامج إشرافي، برنامج تطوعي من الدفعة الأولى لمنحة هارفارد اللي اجتازوا البرنامج بالفعل، بنساعد بيه زملاتنا في الدفعة الثالثة. احنا هنكون مع حضراتكم بجانب فريق هارفارد الممتاز، وده عشان نجاوب على أسئلتكم ونشرح استفساراتكم، نوضح النقط الغامضة، نساعدكم في واجباتكم الدراسية ونسهل المادة العلمية عليكم. احنا هدفنا في النهاية إرضاء حضراتكم والتأكد من استفادتكم، وإن احنا بنخرج دفعة مدربين قوية ومهنية وعلى أساس علمي. وطبعا ده بالتبعية هيزود جودة الخدمة الطبية المقدمة. بنشكر حضراتكم تاني على تواجدكم معانا، ونتمنى لكم إن شاء الله التوفيق، ونتمنى لكم إن شاء الله إن أنتم تبقوا مدربين أقوياء. Thank you. شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you very much, Lubna. And now I would also like to welcome Ines Murad.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hi, Dr. Zemi. Thanks, Dr. Ahmed, and Dr. Abdesalam, Dr. Lubna, Dr. Hazen. Let me speak with my colleagues in Arabic. ازيكم يا جماعة، عاملين ايه؟ أنا دكتورة إيناس مراد، استشاري رمد، معهد الرمد التذكاري، الهيئة التعليمية للمعاهد والمستشفيات التعليمية. الحقيقة أنا أحب أقول تجربتي خلال المرحلة، أنا أول باتش من T2t، التريننج تو تيتشرز. It's a course مش بعيد خالص عن شغلنا، بالعكس هو المفروض إن أي حد دكتور بيعلم عنده نواب تحتيه مطلوب منه إن هو ينقل لهم خبرته، لازم يكون عنده القدرة على كده. اللي عنده مشكلة في حكاية التعليم، أو اللي عنده علم كويس قوي بس مش قادر يوصله، T2t هتقدر تساعده جدا إن هو يقدر يوصل المعلومات اللي عنده in a very smooth pathway. هنلاقي T2t بتتكلم معانا على كل حاجة عندنا في التعليم بتاعنا للنواب بتوعنا. هتلاقي ال disengaged learners أو ال struggling learners هتلاقيهم الموجودين معانا دايما واحنا مش عارفين نعمل معاهم ايه. هتلاقي الإجابة عن الحكاية دي وازاي تتعامل معاهم جوه الكورس بتاع T2t. طبعا زمايلي الافضل قالوا احنا ازاي الكورس هيساعد وهيقوي من الليفل بتاع المدربين بتوع الزمالة، بس الحقيقه مش بس دكتور الزمالة او مدرب الزمالة هو اللي المفروض ياخد الكورس ده. الحقيقه من بعد ما احنا خلصنا الكورس انا شايفه ان كل دكتور عندنا هيتحط في سيتويشن ان هو هينقل علمه للاصغر منه، محتاج ان هو يتعلم ازاي ينقله بطريقه صح في اقل وقت، وباستخدام الابلكيشنز الجديده، ازاي نستخدم الموبايل، نستخدم الانترنت، ازاي نساعدهم على السيرش عن طريق الانترنت in a very smooth وsimple pathway. كمان هنلاقي ان احنا الكوميونتي بتاعنا جوه في هارفارد مع دكاترتنا في هارفارد ومع كمان صحابنا في الباتش او في الكورس نفسه، علاقاتنا هتبقى قويه جدا. هنتعلم ازاي ان احنا نشتغل تيم وورك حقيقي، ان حد يشرح لنا واحنا نتعامل مع بعض، وازاي نعمل الفيديوز اللي هتطلب مننا، الاسي اللي احنا هنكتبه. التيم وورك ده حقيقي بيعلم اكتر بكتير من الانديفيدواليتي. احب ان الناس تطمن جدا، الكورس ما هوش بعيد، بالعكس ده هو قريب جدا من شغلنا، هتلاقيه داخل معانا في كل حاجه احنا بنعلمها للناس، بس مطلوب مننا حاجه بسيطه خالص، هنزود شويه ايفورت على شغلنا مش اكتر من كده، مش بياخد وقت مننا، بالعكس ده هو بيزود معلوماتك، هتلاقي نفسك اتحسنت اوتوماتيكالي مع الترينرز اللي تحتيك، بتدربهم احسن والليفل بتاعهم بيزيد. وبالتوفيق ان شاء الله، ومستنيينكم، احنا موجودين علشان نساعدكم thank you Jacqueline and thank you for all.
Thank you so much. I'd really like to thank, before I pass this off back to Dr. Richards, thank you to Abdel Salam, Hatem, Lubna, Inez. We are very appreciative of your words. And thank you again for everything that you've done for our program and contributed to our program. As the education manager, I hope to see you all in the future in August and wish you well. And I hope you have a great evening. And I'll hand it back to Dr. Richards.
Yes, I want to be respectful of everybody else's time. And again, thank all of our speakers, Abdel Salam, Lobna, Ines, and Talal, for speaking about your experiences with the course. And for the rest of you for being here to learn about the T2t curriculum. If there are questions, please reach out to us so we can try to answer them. We want this to be as transparent and as useful as possible for you. And again, we look forward to hopefully working with many, if not all of you, in this next iteration of the T2t curriculum. So with that, shukram, thank you. We look forward to seeing you soon and hope you have a great rest of your night and a great rest of your weekend.